and was living in one of the other rooms. And we got to know each other. We've been friends ever since, man, 20 years? Yeah. I've seen this guy get married, have kids, and go to prison because of his marriage to a Japanese lady. Ooh, that's another story. So, shit, what was I talking about? I brought Maddox for a reason. What were you talking about earlier? Damn, I'm getting old.
I don't remember.
Then it's working. Yeah, he told me one time.
You were talking about the floating house.
Oh, yes. No, yeah. And then, before that, that's where I met him. We were on another topic that you were talking about. Cheech and Chong. Damn. Girl, you know, this is some good stuff, yo.
It's taken away my pain.
Hashtag 360 stupid mic check. MICCCZCH King of Stupid here with Pammy, the super mammy. The podcast. You want to talk about the podcast, or you want? What do you want to talk about? How can people donate to you if they want to send in some money, some help? If once before she gets her podcast up, just email me or contact me at hashtag 360 stupid, and I'll relay the message. And if you guys want to send in money, I'll probably keep it. I'm just kidding. I'll keep part of it. So, service fee, you know. Money. What do you think? Money.
What do you mean?
I talk about money a lot on my show. My entire world revolves around money. So I've already sold my soul to the money world. So everything for me is just money. Constantly. All the time. Always. Business and money. Markets, real estate, where the gold's going, where the metals are moving, crypto.
I haven't been much into money or anything like that because I've done the stay-at-home mom thing, and I haven't been able to work because of my medical issues. So I'm kind of out of that world. I know nothing about it.
That's crazy. See, in some countries, a mother has help, meaning the government provides a nanny, or even like doctor visits. The doctors go to the mothers because they know, like, you just had a kid, you can't like carry all your stuff and go to the thing. They have, they also have, which is really, really good to help marriages stay together. They provide the husband or the father a year's salary after the kid's born.
I get help with one of my children. He has autism and ADHD, so the state provides help with him because of the severity of his disability.
That must be tough, huh?
Yes. I've had to install a double deadbolt on my front door, and then a key lock on my sliding glass door. And so then he started climbing out the windows. So I had to put key locks on the windows. And the reason I couldn't use the regular child locks that twist is because
he's too smart for it.
He got those off in like 2 seconds.
See, I've said this before on the show, and I'll say it again a million times. They label us disabled because we're better thinkers and we're much more clever than they are. So stupid doctors don't like us being smarter than they are, so they call us the crazy ones. Because I think that's pretty damn clever.
Well, when he was 3, I put one of those child locks on that it clicks together. It, you know, you stick it on the sides and then it clicks together. And it took all of 30 seconds for him to snap it in half, the actual plastic, not pull it off. He snapped the plastic in half. And so I was like, well, I guess that's not going to work. And so I had to figure out how to child-proof a fridge that I couldn't use a child lock on, because he could break any child lock I could put on. So I was like, what am I going to do? Because these children had decided to play baseball with 5 dozen eggs. Because I had gone to Costco. And I wasn't okay.
Hold on, sorry. Let me just make sure I'm at where you're at with the story. So mom's about to go to Costco. The kitchen looks okay. Maybe not the cleanest, but there's certainly no eggs go all over the place. Mommy comes back from going to Costco, and you see?
Well, so my daughter was in the NICU. And so my friend was home with the kids. And she says she had gone to the bathroom, but I think she went outside to smoke a cigarette and took too long.
Oh.
And she came back in, and both of our 3-year-olds, they're only 2 months apart. So we called them the twins of terror. And they decided to play baseball with the 5 dozen eggs I had just bought.
Wow.
And they also played in peanut butter together. And my son also dumped chocolate protein powder on the other one's head. And they also flooded the bathroom sink that went all the way down the hallway to the kitchen.
Wow.
And they got out the front door, and my son was naked. We got there before the cops did, but the cops had already been called before we found them. So then we had to explain, because, one was naked, and
yeah,
I could not keep my son in the house, and this was before he was diagnosed with his autism. So people just thought I was a bad mother, and I'm like, you don't understand. Like, every child lock I could do, he could get out of.
Yeah.
And so it was a nightmare.
To me, that sounds like a super awesome kid who's super intelligent, who just needs to be super stimulated constantly and directed all the time.
Well, we've gotten to that point now, but we had to do behavior therapy twice, and he used to beat the living crap out of me daily. I had bruises all the time. He pinched me, slapped me, kicked me, hit me. And I used that as a last resort only when he became a danger to himself or others, because he would run away. He would go after his younger siblings that he knew were weaker than him. And
all this while you're tied to tubes to get fed all day.
No, this tube I just got in February, so I wasn't tied to those.
That's right.
Then.
Gotcha. So how many more kids are you gonna have?
None.
They're tied, your tubes?
My tubes are not tied. I decided in my early 20s I was never going to get them tied. Most people don't realize that there are a lot of risks that can happen when you get your tubes tied.
Absolutely.
There is something called post-tubal ligation syndrome, and it can cause a lot of problems. And I'm one of those people that suffer the rare side effects of everything. And I'm not willing to take the risk of having that happen, no matter how small it might be. I mean, I ended up with gastroparesis, which is a rare disease. So I don't sedate well. So for 5-minute procedures, they have to put me fully under. Because my first...
So you didn't tie the tube, so you're pretty much ready for another one, huh?
No. That's what condoms are for.
Right on, girl. And what would you do if you got pregnant again?
I would cry for 18 years.
I can't imagine how it feels. Just in general, like the day-to-day thing, Every day. Wow. I've been single all my life, pretty much. Never had kids. Never had to really live with kids. Yeah, no, I've never lived with kids. I've lived with all types of people, just traveling and stuff, but no kids.
Well, see, I'm the oldest of 6, and I started babysitting for pay when I was 8.
Yeah.
And then when I was 14, I started babysitting overnight while the parents went out of town for the weekend. And then when I was in my early 20s,
If you could buy yourself anything right now, what would you buy yourself?
a Suburban.
A Suburban diesel?
It doesn't have to be diesel.
Diesels last longer, and you can put much more miles on them, and they're really good in hot temperature areas.
Then it could be diesel. I learned to drive on a 77 Suburban with a 454.
And your favorite smell is?
Bondo.
Bondo!
I love the smell of Bondo. Then my second favorite smell is gasoline.
Calm down, guys. Oh, wait, you are single, huh?
I am.
Pammy, the super mammy. Get it, girl?
I was 5 when I started helping my dad work on cars with air tools.
Wow. So you could fix a fender and stuff?
I can help, but I can't fix those.
Like you've seen it done by your uncle. Because
My dad.
Your dad. My uncle is a body guy too. I always used to hang out with him too. I'm pretty sure I could maybe do it, but like I've never actually done it, you know, from beginning to end.
I'm a super flashlight holder. I can remove.
I like the way you do that.
Yeah. I can remove screws great. I can do spark plugs and wires.
Nice.
I've changed a radiator when my ex-husband got too pissed off to finish it.
There you go.
I told him, go in the house and I'll finish it. Just go in the house and I'll do it. So he went in the house and I did it.
Good for you.
I can do brakes. Things like that. Easy
You
stuff.
know how to ride motorcycles?
I've never driven a motorcycle. I've only ridden on the back.
Any happy stories?
About what? I have happy stories.
Yeah, any happy stories you want to share?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think of what happened recently. I've been stuck in bed in my room with this coronavirus.
Oh man. Wait for it, guys. Wait for it. It's coming.
What have I done that's been funny?
What have I seen you do that's funny?
Or what have I told you about that's been funny?
Funny or the happy? You're trying to get me to answer the happy story question? Or you want me to answer the first question? The first question was for me that I heard you say was, what's the funniest thing I've seen you do?
I've been a little bit depressed lately with all
the funniest
this
part
crap.
was when I met Pam. Well, we chatted on the group thing, but at the sex party, and I was sitting like here, and Pam put her clothes like right there. So Pammy likes to go out and smoke cigarettes, right? You smoke cigarettes?
No, I don't smoke cigarettes.
She had to go out to
My
smoke
vape.
a couple of times, or vape.
Oh, I went out to my car to smoke weed.
So
My pain is that bad that I smoke weed a lot.
So for me, the funniest thing that I've seen you do is you'd come in and like change and get naked or half naked or into your sexy outfit, and I'm there like naked the whole time, and I just like look over and like this hot chick's like getting dressed and undressed next to me every like 10-20 minutes. I was like, this is great.
I've lost so much weight, so I've lost over 100 pounds from being so sick. So
Wow.
I'm freezing cold.
Oh, because of this thing?
Yeah, from all my because
From December or February.
No, so I got sick in October of 2017. I had 6 bleeding ulcers.
Wow.
And I went to the ER and they misdiagnosed me with a muscle spasm. And so I bled internally for a month and a half.
That's why I brought up my friend, the Chinese friend. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
And so then in the middle of the night, one of them was on an artery and it burst. And so I basically never recovered. And the doctors kept not being able to figure out what was wrong. I kept getting sicker and sicker. And basically, I think I've had gastroparesis my whole life, because when I go back looking at all the symptoms and everything, a lot of them
But
fit.
because it's so rare, they never considered it, and they never did the appropriate testing because they're like, it wouldn't be that, or they
Well,
never do the
and
test
my
for that.
symptoms weren't severe, and I was
Yeah.
managing them. And looking back, I was doing self-management by what I was eating. Well, this doesn't make me feel good, so then I'd stop eating it,
Right.
you know? And
Unlike the rest of us, we're like, oh, I don't feel good, but that pizza.
and
You're like, I should
and
not
then,
eat that.
and then basically my ulcers did my stomach in, and it
Yeah.
couldn't manage anymore.
So the reason I brought up my friend Xiao, uh, talking about doctors. So ASU, as a student, you have access to the medical staff. She went in. So we went. So it was her friend, her roommate, Alex, one of the workers from the hostel, and one of the volunteers from the hostel. The worker is American, and then the volunteer is a Russian, which this guy is awesome. He got a lottery. He won the lottery for a green card. And I met him literally the week after he got here. First time out of Russia. So she, it's her, Alex, me, what's her name? Kelly something, and the Russian guy in my car, and I had a Toyota Camry. So it was we were nicely packed, and we just go down to Mexico. We have lunch. We come back through. They file the paperwork, and she finishes her master's degree. Goes back to China, and so the whole time she's here, we're like buddies. I mean, we're hanging out all the time. And like, I'm helping her out with the little things, like carrying the groceries or like knowing where the things are or whatever. And so she'd cook for me. So I would get the Chinese culture thing and how to like do the eating thing at like a actual Chinese house, not a fucking Chinese restaurant, So I got the Chinese culture aspect of it, and she introduced me to her other friends. And so I got that. So when I went to China, I already had Chinese friends, It was so cool. The guy, I have a friend that works in Google. He met me in China the first time I went to China in Shanghai, and he fucking took me to my room. Dude, that guy makes so much freaking money. So sorry, okay, Xiao. So she goes through. We come back. She files the paperwork. Everything's done. She finishes her master's degree. I think it was 3 years. She finished it early. She goes back, sends me a fucking picture of her scar that's about this fucking long, about a foot long.
Oh, jeez.
And says she had a tumor the entire fucking time. So when she came to America, she went to the doctors at ASU complaining about stomach pain. First, they're like, it's cramps. It's your period. They pushed her away. She came back again. She's like, it's really bad. They're like, oh, it's probably the new American food. They pushed her away. She came back again. They're just like, oh, you're just like one of the complainers. You know what I mean? So they just fucking shoot her away. So all that time she had a fucking tumor growing inside of her. And she never told me about the pain. Because then I could have told her American doctors are garbage fuckers that work for the insurance companies and not for you. So when she went back to China, and Chinese doctors work for the patients, they get paid the same regardless of whatever, And they found the fucking tumor, pulled it out, and about 6 months after that, I haven't heard from her. It's been like 4 fucking years. I killed her.
How'd you kill her?
Because I got her the fucking visa.
That doesn't mean you killed her.
My actions took her life. Isn't that fucked up? I never thought about that until just like 6 months ago. I've been trying to get a hold of her. I couldn't get a hold of her. I've been trying to get a hold of her family. Don't know her, any of her family. I know some of her college students. They can't get a hold of her. Nobody. She just dropped out of the fucking earth. And they don't have like, to find a Chinese person in China, fucking the highest human population. It's not like fucking Google, where is she? Because it's communist, and so people don't share everything on, so everybody's like fucking. So had I not fucking done that for her, she would have been deported back to China. She would have went to the doctor the first time she had the pain. They would have diagnosed her correctly and fucking saved her life. That's fucking crazy, huh? Xiao, 25 years old. That was her first time leaving China. And the first time she leaves China, comes to America, I take her to Mexico. She goes, how am I going to get back? I go, everything's in your passport. You already have the visa to America. Everything's there. Just bring the right paperwork for the right school this time. She's, yeah, I checked it 3 times. Like, this is the right paperwork. Oh, man. We had so much fun together. We'd hang out all the time. I mean, more than I would think she even had, because she had to study a lot, like 3 times more than an average student, you know? But she liked that practicing English with me was a big thing for her.
Uh-huh.
So she felt comfortable enough to practice. I knew she knew good English, but for her to feel, because she was like, I mean, first time out of China, tiny little Chinese, she was such a badass, man. I took her to the Renaissance Fair. Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, my phone brings up the old pictures, you know? Yeah, fuck. 25 years old. Her life just started. She just finished school, so she was finally free of all the, you know, report here, do this, and then fucking tumor. It's a tumor. Fuck. But you know how China has used to have a one-child policy? Mm-hmm. She actually had 2 siblings.
How did she end up with that?
She was actually the last one. So the first one, the government allows. The second one, it's a citation. You get a ticket. The government sends you a ticket.
That allows you to keep them?
Well, yeah, I mean, the government's not going to take the kid or kill the kid. Well, actually, they do kill a lot of fucking people, but yeah. Because I never thought about that. I'm like, because she told me, you know, my brother this, my sister that.
What about the third one?
It's a bigger fine. It's just like, I don't know. She didn't explain exactly the details, because the majority of the time we were together, she would talk about her sister and brother. And it never clicked one-child policy until they brought up the 2-child policy. I'm like, oh shit, you always talk about your brother and sister. How did that, what happens? Does the government come and take the kid? What, right? Because some people just get pregnant accidentally. She goes, yeah, no, it's just a ticket. I go, oh, fuck. They always made it sound like
save up for the ticket then.
Yeah, because they always made it sound like fuck, one-child policy. What are you gonna do if there's another child? But there is unfortunately a lot of people that go through the pregnancy and then get rid of the kid, like either foster care. There's actually a forest known as the Lost Girls, where the Chinese people who have daughters just go out and put them out in the fucking forest. So
why?
There's because girls are the lesser.
Well, I knew girls were the lesser, but why did they put them in? Get rid of them like that?
Because they don't want to kill the kid. They don't want to. They can't keep the kid, because if you have a daughter, your entire life is fucked, especially if you're poor. So then you're double fucked. So they don't want to kill the kid, but they don't want to, like, there's the way their mentality is like, I don't want to deal with it, so I'll just put it there and just walk away and never hear the baby crying and stuff. So out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So an entire fucking orphanage, what is it called? Orphanage is built out in that forest. And every once in a while they hear a baby crying and they just go pick it up, bring it back. And the way I found out about this is a fucking Netflix documentary.
Oh, wow.
I think it's called the Lost Girls of the Forest or something like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so I think the first one was a boy, her brother, and then her sister, and then her.
Did her parents want to have more than one?
Oh shit, that's a good question. I never asked. Yeah, because if they were planning on it, they'll just save the money. He had money. because he did rebar, and I think he had some government contracts. So, you know, I'm sure they were okay. So that does make sense. If they were planning on it, they just plan on the fee, because I'm sure it's not a surprise fee. Everybody fucking, I'm sure, knows. And it's not like they're gonna kill the kid. It's probably like extra taxes. You know, if you never pay that fee, they just go to your taxes or something like that. Shit, that's really interesting. I gotta wonder. Maybe next time I go to China, I'll do a podcast about that.
Because I guarantee there's people that do that plan for the fee.
Oh yeah, of course. That does make sense. I never thought about that though, because I've never like whole kids in my life. There was no connection to even think about the details like that. That's interesting. That's why we're the stupid people asking you smart people simple questions. Mike Check, king of stupid here. MICCCZCH at hashtag 360 stupid. Woo. Oh my God, that's been an hour. What do you think
What?
about podcasting?
I think that's pretty cool.
It's pretty simple, right? Whew. Well, ladies and gentlemen, all the genders, fenders, benders, I am Mike Check at hashtag. Oh man, I don't know what the fuck's going on now. All right, I'm just gonna sign off, y'all. Thanks again. Of course, my number one fan. What up, girl? Thanks for being there. Thanks for motivating me, and I hope you guys liked it. I will send a link to Pammy, the Super Mammies podcast once we get her out there. If y'all have any questions or comments, call, text, and email. And that's it. Man, I'm fucking stone girl. I don't know what the fuck. I gotta sign off. Hold on. I got a whole thing set up. Because I like, first, before I was just like, all right, see you guys. I think that's it. Fuck it. All right. Thank you for the privilege of your time. Good night, stupid.